What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. I hope everyone is well. I had a pretty productive day this morning anyway with updates on the show, so I made the video earlier it looks like I've got this different conferencing system figured out, and it works, from what I can tell, amazingly well. And it's really simple for both ends. Pretty simple to operate, in my opinion. I mean, it takes some technical know-how, but it's not too bad. And then from a viewer end, it's real simple. It's there isn't much to it at all, to be honest. Pretty much, you'll put in a link in the browser, in a browser, and it will ask you what you want to go by, what name you want to go by. And I think it asks one other thing before it lets you in, but of course you got to do the approved, allow your mic and your camera and whatnot. But it looks really simple, really straightforward, and I like the results of it. And I wanted to go with that route because I wanted to use something that was independent from the other software that I'm using. Like I use, currently I'm using Streamlabs, which is a variant of OBS. And I think I'm going to just transfer everything on over to OBS. And the reason why is because, to be real honest, OBS from its native vanilla, it honestly looks a lot more professional. And it allows me, in my opinion, a lot better control over certain aspects of the stream. You would think that Streamlabs, being that they pander for you to get an Ultra account all the time, that it would be more technical, it would be more laid out in a professional manner. But I think they're going more for the ease of, user, I don't know, just basically, it doesn't look technical, and it's all pretty simple, pretty basic, to where OBS, when you open it up, there's a lot more different things just right there from jump that you can change. So anyway, you guys won't see anything different. It'll be the same thing on your end. My intent is to try to get this going to the best of my ability. I did quite a bit of learning today, though, to learn how to use both that conferencing website and then another little trick that I finally, after years, had learned how to do. And I will show you that at some point this evening. Anywho, man, it's crazy. It is crazy. And if you think the headline's crazy, oh, it's really crazy. Yeah, that is indeed crazy, but we got craziness all across the nation. There was a shooting in New York City on the subway. Apparently, the last I knew, one was dead, I believe 5 injured. Now, apparently this shooting had stemmed from a fight, but I don't have really any more details other than that. I hadn't gone back and re-looked at the story since it's been 2 hours, 3 hours or so since I looked into it. They said a fight. And then somebody, I guess, showed up or was there and put on a ski mask, I guess, or something, and just started shooting up the place. So I don't have any details on that. The information that's been coming out about the situation at the church in Texas, at Joel Osteen's church, that gets crazier by the headline. Apparently, it was a transgender individual. And apparently that was I don't know, her, him, it, whatever. Maybe they. Maybe we should just start calling these people they for the multiple personality disorder. But it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and cherry coat it. But that was apparently her, his, its 7-year-old. It was a 7-year-old child. And I can tell you right now, with the way that they're approaching this, that the child was shot by a cop. And the reason why I say that is because although, at least last I looked, they hadn't officially admitted that yet, they're already putting out the idea that, well, regardless, we're going to blame it on her. And I know it's awful easy for people to do that. It's not easy for me to do that because I'm sorry. There is a responsibility that any firearms owner is supposed to have, and that responsibility is to know damn well what's going to be within your shot. Not a maybe. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's say Joe Average Citizen, a firearm owner, let's say he's a good Samaritan. And, yep, absolutely. Oh, I get to do it. Yep, absolutely another trans killer. So, without a doubt. So, it's crazy. But, speaking to this thing, if the average Joe citizen that's, let's say, armed and a good Samaritan would happen to run into a situation to where somebody went nuts and was trying to harm other people, if the average Joe citizen pulled out their sidearm and started firing and started hitting innocent people, right, even if they did get the person committing the crime, if they hit an innocent person, you better believe they're going to string that person up. Why? Because it is the responsibility of the person pulling the trigger to know what it is they are going to hit. You are not supposed to take a chance. I don't understand this. I know I've heard a million excuses over the time. Oh, it's split seconds to think, and it's this and it's that. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be in that position. Plain and simple. I don't have a problem performing under pressure. I know damn well there's other people that don't have a problem performing under pressure. So maybe if an individual has an issue performing under pressure, they shouldn't have a badge. Just a suggestion. Put it in the little suggestion box. But, another trans killer. And what can we really say about this? I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. And I think it's going to get worse. I don't think it's going to get better. I think we're going to see a series of these events happen. And I have a feeling they're going to get pretty nasty before something is actually done. Because, in my opinion, I believe we are still far from calling this stuff as it is. And calling these people out. And simply learning how to tell them no. Now, I'm not saying no to somebody that's absolutely 100% convinced they're the wrong, whatever. But it doesn't mean you have the right to go and push it in everybody's face. Doesn't mean that you have the right to go into schools and push it on children. Especially children that are vulnerable at that particular age. And especially children in which I know from psychology is something that's natural for them to have a curiosity. There's a point in time right before and going into puberty to where you start questioning. It's a natural thing, and you start to question, you start to wonder. Now, obviously, some people a little more than others, but it is a natural thing, but most of the time it's just shrugged off. And the reason why is because those aren't real. The only reason, for the most part, that those thoughts are even entering their mind is because of the different hormones that are going through their body at that particular time, the hormone imbalances. Well, what these sick, disgusting individuals are doing is they are targeting children at that specific point in their life so that they can basically ruin them. I mean, it's the most mind-blowing thing, but when you try to talk to people that are, absolutely 100% pro be a freak, well, there's no talking to them. And that's where we need to put our foot down and just say no. No, you're not going to be pushing your agenda on children. I can remember, this wasn't the case that I recall when I was in school, but I do remember that when I was in school, but I was young. I do remember, though, when my older brothers were going through high school, and I do remember that my parents had to, I believe they had to approve them taking sex ed. I'm pretty sure that was something that they had to sign a consent form for. And then now, it's like part of the curriculum. You got the freaky freak hour a day. It's mind-blowing to me. And no, I'm not going to soften the way I talk about it, because the answer is no. Get over it. And until the large part of the nation starts taking that attitude, you're going to see the further destruction of this country in every way. Yeah, they do. They absolutely. With the drugs and everything else, and like you're saying, what are the side effects? Kevin made that comment. And it's a good question. It's hard to say. And they don't care anymore about side effects with medications or anything else. It seems like the more the better in their eyes. That means that they can get you on a lifetime of different medications to fix what they screwed up with the other medications. It's nuts. It is insane. But then aside from all the shooting, the crazy crap like that, we got the cackling hen saying that she's ready and waiting to take the helm of the United States of America. And I'm going to be really honest here. I didn't really expect this. This really wasn't on my bingo card. I had a whole lot of stuff on my bingo card. But the actual reality of Kamala Camel Toe Harris taking charge of the nation was not on my bingo card. Not even in the free spot. And I don't even know where to put that. I don't even know where to put that. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like Joe Schmo Biden is actually running the country. He's just a Botoxed figurehead. But I think that if Kamala actually took over, things are going to get really bad really quick, even more so than Joe. Howdy, much tested. How you doing? I think it'll get quicker, really, or get worse. I'm sorry, really quick. And why, I don't know. To be real honest, I couldn't tell you why I've got that feeling, but I just do. Maybe it's, and it's something that my subconscious is telling me, and maybe it's because the world knows that Joe's a feeble person, that it's not all there anymore. And possibly the world don't expect a whole lot out of Joe. I mean, do you? But people might expect more out of Camel Toe. And so, I would say that Camel Toe could do a lot more for this country than Joe could do at this point. But back to Kamala. I don't, man. I don't know. I don't know what to think. And that's the other part of the equation. What do we know about that crazy chick anyway? Right? I mean, we do know stuff. We do know that she's very corrupt, and she's been corrupt for a very long time. But aside from what we know as far as her dealings with law and then being the cackling hen, other than that, we really don't know a whole lot that I know of. So it's something that we might want to put that on our bingo card and maybe think about it a little bit. Now, I know there's not a whole lot of time left, but it doesn't take long, especially when they've got all of these bills ready to go to be signed and all that, and believe me, they do. The whole Patriot Act was sitting there and waiting. They didn't have to draw that up. All they had to do was pull that sucker out of the desk and sign it. I have a feeling that there is a lot of legislation that is just sitting right there, ready for a signature. And I think we'll see that come out in short order if she does indeed take over. And I've mentioned this, oh gosh, I couldn't tell you how many times, and I have to bring it up again because it just, if the shoe fits, right? This whole thing, the John Teeter story, I can't shake that. And I'm telling you, there's got to be something with that. I mean, I absolutely cannot shake that. And there is a part during John Teeter's statements during his story where he talks about, he talks about a war, specifically a nuclear war, but he talks about the leader of the United States, like right before that nuclear war. And when he says it, he's like, and I can't remember verbatim, but he used the language like he or she as far as the U.S. president, and then he clarified that and said something about there being some confusion. So that is probably something that we want to put in the back of our heads as well, if you so choose. I get it. It's John Teeter. He claimed that he was a time traveler and blah, 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 whatever. Go and pay attention. Go and listen to the things that he had said. And when you follow it like a timeline, it'll probably grab your interest as well. It's eerie accurate, as a matter of fact. So these are all things that I look at, and I must say I am absolutely concerned. And maybe my head was like trying not to think about Kamala being in the position of taking over. And that's very possible. Very, very possible. Have a sip of coffee here. Oh, man. Yum, yum. Yay, my battery's charged on my tablet. It wasn't that low, but I wanted to charge it up. I might watch. I might read a little bit of the book as I'm laying in bed to go to sleep tonight. Yes, I've been savoring the book for one, and for those that don't know, I'm talking about 14 Days from Joseph Niemeyer. Incredible book. I'm only on like chapter 5, like halfway through the book, and it is just, I'm savoring it like it's the last cup of coffee on the planet, and because it is really, I love it. I love it. Just read about an ultra, and I'm not going to give nothing away, but an ultralight airplane flight. That was a pretty cool part to read. For those that don't know, I used to fly ultralight airplanes, so it was really kind of cool to read about that. It also gave me a couple of questions to ask Joe, like, dude, you didn't have like any kind of engine temp gauges on that thing? So anyway, I'm not going to spoil anything, but really good book. Really, really good book. And when I do get done with that, then I got his other book to read, which isn't a part of the series, but it's called Free Range, I believe is the name of it. And it's more like true stories, I guess, true stories from his past when he was a kid and stuff. So it's got very, very high remarks regarding it, so I definitely want to read it as well. So we at this particular time have all 3 of his books, so, and I can't wait. As far as I know, he's working on book 3 in the series, so awesome. And he said there'll be there should definitely be a book 3 and possibly a book 4. So I'm kind of myself hoping for like at least 12. Don't tell him though. He'll probably strangle me. Oh man. They're that good though. They really are. And accurate. Most accurate books that I have read ever. Like as in ever. And so far it's still trending that way. It's incredible. So, because a lot of what a lot of people say about SHTF, the whole timing of stuff, they're out of their damn minds. They're out of their damn minds. Now, a city is not a good place to be. If you're in a large population area, okay, so that's where the prepping community has it right. Things are going to get really stupid really quick. But a lot of us don't live in the thick of a big city. A lot of us live in either, a little bit away from a big city, at least suburbs, if not a little more rural than suburbs. And we're like 30 miles, away from St. Louis. So it's not like we don't have any big cities around, but we're a town of just right around 10,000 people. And, the atmosphere in this town is a huge plus, to be real honest. And I think that is going to be a monumental aspect for most people in the preparedness world, because you only have what you can work with. And if you don't have any good people to work with, then you're in a bad spot. But here, thankfully, that's not the case. There are a lot of really good people here. And I do believe that if people get on it quick enough, the good people can do a fairly good job at securing the place before the bad people can take over. So, all kinds of bings and bongs going on. Just not the good kind of bongs, that sucks. Uh-oh. I must have offended the dog. She might be mad because we're always telling her to stop slurping, and then what I do, I start slurping. You hypocrite! Damn humans! Anyway, let me get some nicotine. We'll jump into some articles, and, oh, wow. It is a crazy, crazy world. I'm working on adjusting this thing, my e-cig, because yikes, man. I turned up the wattage earlier because I thought, hey, why not? Might be fun, right? Yeah, I think I need to turn that down because it's about to burn my face off. I turned the wattage up, but it's on temperature control, so it's like, it's only going to get to a certain temperature, but what I was wanting it to do was ramp up to that temperature faster. Yeah, maybe not so much. Yeah, or maybe I have the damn temperature set too high and I don't realize that. I've only been vaping for, 10 years. I mean, you'd think I'd pick up? No. I might. I don't know. I might have the I've got the temperature at, right now, 410. And the wattage at 130 watts. So, isn't that crazy? That's better. I think that's what it is, though. I think I need to turn my temperature down and then probably raise my wattage a bit. Yikes, man. Alright. So let's go on over to the web browser here. Old camel toe. We need to write a song. Like an old folk song. You know what I mean? Like, Oh, camel toe, something. I'll come up with a little diddly on guitar. She'll love it. Maybe she'll use it for a campaign song. Who knows? All right. I'm ready to lead America. Yeah, we're not ready for it, though. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is ready to replace President Joe Biden if necessary, she told the Wall Street Journal, amid growing concerns about his advanced age and apparent memory problems. Apparent? Uh-huh. The remarks by Harris were first reported by Wall Street Journal on Monday, a week after the VP had made them to the Daily during a flight on Air Force Two, right? Because she's number 2. Harris was asked whether concerns over Biden's memory meant she must convince the public she was ready to serve. I am ready to serve. There's no question about that. Harris stated boldly, brushing off the suggestion she actually needs to convince voters of anything. Anyone who sees her doing the job walks away fully aware of my capacity to lead, she claimed. Am I doing okay with the Despite showing confidence about her leadership skills, Harris might still need to convince some voters given her plummeting approval ratings. Nah. Oh my goodness. According to a fresh poll by NBC, the VP's rating reached a new low with a combined 53% of registered voters viewing her negatively. A vast majority of those holding such an opinion of her, some 42% of all respondents interviewed during the poll, said they were actually very negative about the VP. At the same time, you can tell we're real positive about it right here. At the same time, only a combined 28% of them held a positive view of Harris. And that's because they had the picture upside down. The remarks by Harris, despite being publicized only now, came ahead of a bombshell report compiled by U.S. Special Counsel Robert Hur on Biden's handling of classified documents, which only reinforced concerns over the president's health. The Hur report, for the described Biden as an elderly man with a poor memory and noted that the president had exhibited diminished faculties in public. What was the first clue? Was it the part where he can't remember anything or the part where he poops his pants? Because I just, I'm not quite sure where to put my finger at there. So, and then, because you gotta allow as much propaganda through the door as possible, right? Most Americans believe Biden and Trump too old to be president, says a survey. Now, I could only imagine that the only people that feel that way about Trump are the Trump haters. Now, I'm not a Trump fan, okay? Not even remotely. But being too old to do the job is not something that's even on my bingo card when it comes to Trump. It's not about your age. It's about whether or not you're pooping your pants while you eat ice cream. That's pretty much the deciding factor as to whether or not you should. Oh my goodness. Are we really having this conversation? Can I please go back about 20 years? Because this stuff is so whack, I can't believe it myself. A large majority of U.S. voters believe 81-year-old President Joe Biden and his primary Republican rival, 77-year-old Donald Trump, are too elderly to serve another term in office, a new survey by ABC News, which explains it, and market research company Ipsos has found. Hey, Ipsos! I had a questionnaire that was sent to me from Ipsos the other day, and I clicked on it, and I don't know, there was an error. But it was about the Quest 2 headset. Well, I think the VR deal as a whole, not necessarily just the Quest 2, but I don't know, it made me feel confident when I clicked on the link because I was going to take the poll, and there was an error. So, yeah. But anyway, according to the poll, which was conducted last week and involved a representative sample of 528 U.S. voters, 86% of respondents said Biden should not run for a second term. Well, not when he's got crap running down his leg, and because of his age. Of that number, 27% believed only Biden, who is already the oldest U.S. president in history, is the oldest and most voted for. It's too elderly, while 59% just said they wanted his ice cream. No, they insisted that both he and former President Trump are too old. The Republican, what? You guys are smoking something that you should probably give to me for safe disposal. The Republican frontrunner was considered to be too old to run by 62% of respondents. The survey also found a large difference across the political divide on how voters view their party's nominees. No. As many as 74% of Democratic voters reported that Biden was too old to serve, while only 35% of Republican voters shared that sentiment about Trump. The rhino supporters. As for independents, 91% said Biden was too old and 71% said they had the same opinion of Trump. ABC polls results follow a similar survey published by NBC, same difference, 1 week previously, which showed that 3/4 of voters, including half of Democrats, said they were concerned about Biden's mental and physical health. So what happened was the ABC, they contacted the NBC voters because they were pleased with how that turned out and said, hey, you want to take another poll? So allegedly, I don't need a lawsuit. But this is just nonsense. It really is. Absolute nonsense. I gotta have a drink of coffee on that. I'm kind of wanting an ice cream myself now. Damn it, Joe. All right. Joe's not as fun to blame stuff on, though, is he? I mean, it was much funner to say, thanks, Obama. That was a lot more fun. So this is something, and something I would say we need to be mindful of. I don't think that Putin's going to put up with nuclear weapons on his doorstep. I really don't. And NATO and others are hell-bent on it. I don't think that's going to end well. I really don't. As the headline says, nuclear-armed Poland is very real, says NATO general. Says here, having nuclear weapons is a powerful deterrent and something Poland should look into going forward, a retired Polish army general said in an interview on Monday. Speaking with the RMF24 radio, Jaroslaw Krasowicki was asked about last week's proposal to give Poland nuclear weapons made by American Enterprise Institute scholar Dalibor Rohak in the UK outlet The Spectator. I see this scenario as very real, replied Krasowicki. Yeah, I can't say it. Those who have nuclear potential have a very high level of security. Typically, such countries are not attacked. Well, no kidding. And there isn't even a possibility of carrying out any activities aimed at causing a local crisis. And I wouldn't totally agree with that. I mean, if you kind of have been paying attention, Ukraine's been poking at Russia, and they haven't nuked them yet. And, you've got the whole India-Pakistan thing going on, and neither one's nuked each other yet. So, it's not always necessarily true. In fact, look at North Korea. That's another one, right? They haven't nuked South Korea yet. I mean, I don't know what else. It's not a guarantee that it's going to be a deterrent, and at the same time, even having them or not having them isn't a guarantee you're gonna get nuked or attacked or anything like that. I think it's a bunch of rhetoric for them to justify to the world, or try to put nuclear weapons on Russia's doorstep. And I don't think it's going to be received very well. It says obtaining atomic weapons is a challenge for Poland to attempt in the coming years, he added. While Rohak was proposed, or has proposed arming Poland with atomic warheads as part of the Trump-proofing, and this is what blew my mind, Trump-proofing the security of Eastern Europe, meaning ahead of the coming U.S. presidential elections, Krasnitsky or whatever seemed to favor a long-term approach. So that's what some of these individuals are looking at doing, is getting these weapons into Poland before the next president can take office. And I think it's absolutely crazy that they're using terms like Trump-proofing the security of Eastern Europe. I mean, that says it all, in my opinion. That is insane. This whole narrative that Trump more or less wants to hand everything over to, it's nonsense. It's complete and utter nonsense. I don't think this is going to end well if they keep pushing forward. I really don't. Really, really don't. Have another sip of coffee here. Oh, and are you still out there, Kevin? I haven't seen you chat in a moment. Or I was wondering if you were the one that asked, I believe, about whether or not a phone could join as far as like doing the conference thing. I think it was you. So, and as I said in the video earlier today, absolutely, it works great. I tested it with my phone earlier today. And, I mean, it works superb. It's pretty cool. Alright, I think this is also one of the things that some of the nations are concerned about, and that is this whole fear, this Russophobia nonsense that's going on. Well, it's weakening. And I think that's one of the biggest factors that they're looking at, that they see, and they feel like their chance to whatever their plan with Russia is, their chance is slipping away from them. And I think that's a big part of the I'm trying to think of the proper word. I can't believe I can't think of a single one of the billion words that would describe that. Their anxiousness. There we go. Not a great word, but it works. Okay, cool. Cool deal. Yeah, Kevin, it works great. I just used the browser right on my S20 here, and it worked great. So it allowed me to use either the front or back camera. It allowed me to flip the camera backwards and all that good stuff. So yeah, it worked really, really well. Super simple, and you don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to join anything. I mean, that's it. You just go to the link. You'll have two boxes that'll pop up. One box to ask you for a password. You put in the password, and then the second box will ask you for a name, or vice versa. It might be the name first. I can't remember. But then that's it. Then you join in. Pretty simple. Let's see. Fear of Russia on decline in G7, says survey. Article says Russia isn't the top security concern for residents of the countries in the G7 club of the top Western economies anymore. A study by the Munich Security Conference, one of the world's leading forums on security issues, has revealed. Moscow, which had been viewed as the main threat by the citizens of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the UK and the US, in 2022, dropped to fourth place in the list last year, according to the Munich Security Index, which was published on Monday. Russia's military operation against Ukraine marked a, Zeitenwende, or turning point, across G7 countries, but 2 years on, There are signs that its impact on risk perceptions is tempering the paper stress. The conflict between Moscow and Kiev and the overall geopolitical struggle still shapes citizens' views of other countries, but less intensely than last year, it added. According to the study, such issues as climate change, radical Islamic terrorism, migration, you mean illegal immigrants, and cyber attacks were among those that worried the public in separate G7 countries more than the alleged Russian threat. Well, it's because the Russians aren't the ones sneaking over our southern border. The most significant decline in concerns regarding Russia had been registered in Germany and Italy, where the sentiment rankings dropped to 7th and 12th place, respectively. The Americans said that they believe cyber attacks, political polarization, and China pose bigger threats to their country than Moscow, the Munich Security Index suggested. I would say the number 2 things on Americans' minds right now are illegal immigration and the economy. I would say those are the 2 biggest concerns of the American people. I could be wrong, but I think it's illegal immigration and the economy. It says, as for Ukraine, it's still considered an ally by the people in the G7 countries, but to a lesser extent than last year, the study stated. The EMSC survey was based on representative samples of around 1,000 people from each of the G7 countries. In his interview last week with American journalist Tucker Carlson, Russian President Vladimir Putin again stressed that Moscow has no plans for aggression against the West and NATO. And I believe him. I don't think he does. I don't think that that's even a consideration. Not whatsoever. Only reason I think that Putin would attack any NATO countries is if they crossed a serious red line. And there are different serious red lines, like putting nukes in Ukraine or Poland or any of the bordering countries. I think Poland borders... I'd have to look at a map. I don't know if Poland borders Russia directly or not. I think it does. But I think as long as they don't put any nuclear weapons right there on Russia's doorstep, I don't think Russia's really interested in fighting NATO. That's not what they're doing for. Syria, ready for wars with Israel, says foreign minister. And this is another one we might want to pay attention to. Says Damascus is fully prepared to defend its territory in a potential military conflict with Israel, Syrian Foreign Minister Faisal Mikdad said on Sunday as the regional crisis continues. Mikdad was speaking at a meeting with Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian in Damascus, where they discussed joint support for Palestinians during Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza. Mikdad said that Syria had been resisting Israel since 1948, when the first full-blown war broke out between several Arab nations and the newly established Jewish state. Syria has fought wars against the Israeli occupation and is ready to fight wars, but it will decide when and how, the foreign minister stressed, noting the importance of the Golan Heights, a part of southwestern Syria controlled by Israel since 1967. Ending the Israeli occupation of the Golan Heights is at the top of our priorities, Mikdad insisted, adding that Syria is ready to pay the price for all these liberation operations. Liberation operation. I mean, it'd make a really good song. We could even, I don't know, might be a Sesame Street theme or something. Syria's top diplomat, right? Like with the bill. You remember the bill, right? Yeah. Liberation operations. We could have the bill dancing next to us and stuff. All beaten and battered, though, because, hell, that stuff's nonsense these days. Anyway, Amir Abdollahian went on to condemn the illegal presence of foreign troops in Syria and accused the... That's right. A drone's coming to get me now. U.S. conducted airstrikes in Syria this month in response to rocket and drone attacks on American bases in the region. Pentagon said it was targeting Iran-linked militant groups that were behind the January 28 bombing of an outpost in Jordan known as Tower 22, where we're not supposed to be, where 3 American soldiers were killed. Syria has condemned the strikes on its territory as illegal under international law. Yep. I would agree. Kevin says they will blame Russia, Trump, and racism, etc. And I would absolutely agree 100%. It is really getting Looney Tunes. Really getting Looney Tunes. Okay. Now, I gotta have a little coffee and a couple of vapes before we go here. If I can't keep straight about the serious articles, I ain't got no chance with this one. Oh, the CIA just calls this a Friday night. What's that, knock at the door? A remote control car? What's that for? Alright. Here we go. Buckle up. Australian politician blames prescription drugs for drunken scandal. Good call, dude. Good call. Former Australian Deputy Prime Minister Barnaby Joyce. I mean, with a name like Barnaby Joyce, you'd have to take some serious drugs and get drunk. He had admitted he erred by mixing prescription drugs and alcohol. Barnaby, knock it off. After a video of him drunkenly mumbling into his cell phone while lying on a sidewalk, again, Friday night for CIA, with his feet in a potted plant, oh, that's the cream of the crop, went viral over the weekend. Well, yeah, that's good viewing. I'm on a prescription drug. Yeah, they don't normally give that to people that are like not end of life. But anyway, continue. And they say certain things may happen to you if you drink, and they were absolutely 100% right. No kidding, dude. Joyce explained in an interview with the 7 Network on Monday, insisting he was not looking for sympathy or making excuses. Certainly not making any excuses. In the video filmed Wednesday night following question time in Parliament, the Nationals MP can be seen lying on the sidewalk with his feet in a planter, muttering, "Dead." Dead fucking cunt, into his cell phone. It was later revealed that he was talking to his wife. Oh, that's okay. That makes it fine. Vicky Campion. And see, she decided that she just couldn't handle with having the last name of Joyce. So, and it's bad enough that she's married to a guy named Barnaby. So, anyway, Champion, who told media she was half asleep when she received the call, said he was almost certainly addressing the profanity to himself. Okay, sure. I think he was calling himself one. He likes to self-flagellate. No, you got the wrong word there. That's the wrong word. She said. Joyce concurred, telling the Daily Mail that I say that to that bitch all the time. No, he said he sat on the edge of a plant box, fell over, kept talking on the phone, and very animatedly was referring to myself for having fallen over. Because anytime you fall over, you call yourself a dead fucking cunt, right? I mean, it happens all the time to me. Sorry for the language, but, oh my goodness. While describing the video as very embarrassing on Friday, Joyce left out any mention of drugs or alcohol, merely quipping, "If I had known someone was there with a camera, I would have gotten up quicker." Definitely a good call, guy. Good call. Leader of the Nationals, David Littleproud. Yeah, there's something with the names over there. Maybe they need to work on that because David, just a little proud of you, brother. He told reporters that he had spoken to Joyce several times over the weekend, and he too called him a dead. This was an error of judgment, but there are circumstances surrounding it, he said, stressing that the incident was not normal behavior for the MP and promising to make sure that Joyce, Barnaby, has all the support that he needs. So they're going to put him in a wheelchair and push him around while he mutters stuff to his wife. The party leader declined to comment on whether Joyce had a problem with alcohol, arguing that no one is perfect. This is rich. I mean, hey, wouldn't you rather be reading these kinds of stories in our domestic news than reading about what Biden's doing? I mean, at least there's like humor to this. Oh my goodness. This is insane, man. That's insane. So, thoughts and prayers to Barnaby, because your wife's going to kick your ass. Oh, man. He got home and she's like, do it again. Do it again. Oh, man. Just own it, dude. I mean, come on. Huh. Okay, let's read some headlines and sneak out the back door like tonight never happened. Although, as much of a train wreck as this show is, not as much as Mr. Joyce or Barnaby Joyce. Syria ready for wars with Israel. Oh, I actually covered that. I talked about the shipping giant thing in a video today. BRICS nations hold $45 trillion in investable wealth, says a report. Throw one of them bones over to me. A British aircraft carrier fails to leave the port. Western diplomacy is primitive, says Moscow. Russia jumps to 6th place in terms of Forex holdings, says the World Gold Council. Russia doesn't take EU seriously, says member states PM. Israel kills more terrorists than civilians, Netanyahu claims. I don't know about that. Russian economic activity at high levels, says Putin. Covered that. Civilian vessel attacked off Yemeni coast, says UK Navy. Polish farmers are pro-Russian, says Ukrainian mayor. Yeah, just because they don't like you? U.S. should not interfere in our internal affairs, says ex-Soviet republic. Russia's trade with key BRICS partners now almost dollar-free. Dollar bill, yo. Kremlin comments on Starlink claims. Fear of Russia on decline in the G7, says survey. Putin wants to end Ukraine conflict, says Tucker Carlson. Oh, I actually read the other one, the article. Israel blasts Moody's downgrade. G7 looking to create special envoy for Ukraine, says Russia's top spy. Dog bites Kiev's top diplomat. Good call, dogger. EU states dependence on Russian gas soars 98%, says energy minister. EU makes decision about frozen Russian funds. Biden privately disses Netanyahu, says media. They really want to get Biden out. Or at least make the excuse for getting him out. That's probably more accurate. Let's see. Tucker Carlson reviews Putin interview and reveals what, quote-unquote, radicalized him. And I don't think anything radicalized him. He was just really highly impressed with what he saw over there. It's, it's very clean city. I mean, a lot of things that the United States used to be. So, and that's pretty much in his words. A NATO member to stop sending F-35 parts to Israel. Swiss hotel bans Jews from skis. They're already slippery enough. They don't need skis. I didn't say that. That was the devil. Australian politician blames... oh, yeah. I read that. I don't need to go over that one again. France to end some birthright citizenships to curb immigration. Hospitalized Pentagon chief to skip NATO meeting on Ukraine. Oh, that's no big deal. You don't need to go. And let's see, Ukraine aid bill is a Trump impeachment time bomb, says U.S. Senator. So, we'll see. We'll see. Things are certainly getting spicy, though. Okay. Well, that's a lot of damn notifications. I don't know what's happening now, but maybe I better check before I let you guys go. Okay. Fudge. I'm not kidding. Channel I'm subscribed to, DIY or Die. They make e-juice. Fudge. I guess they're making fudge e-juice. So, hey, we're live on our channel. I didn't know that. Huh. Maybe I should act accordingly. Nah. And let's see. Overcoming loneliness. Out of RP, not RT or AP. AP News. Overcoming loneliness. How to find joy this Valentine's Day, no matter your relationship status. We're not going to say anything about, like, Jergens lotion and a towel, because that would be inappropriate. So anyway. Totally inappropriate, man. Okay, I'm out of here before I before I start saying the 7 banned words or whatever George Carlin covered. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I don't know what day we'll do conferencing for the first day. Very possibly might be Wednesday or Friday. I would say either Wednesday or Friday. Let me think about it. Let me do a little more testaroo and make sure I got everything all fingered out well. And that'll be to the decider. So, and then I'll probably pick a day to do it. What we'll do is we'll probably pick a day and, like, say Friday or something like that. You know, on Friday every week or whatever. Or not Friday. We don't do Friday, but like Thursday. That's what I might just do. I might just set it up for Thursday. Plan on it for Thursday evening, doing the conference show, and that might be how we do it. Might be like every Thursday, we'll do the conference show. So roundtable show, whatever we call it. So bank on Thursday. That'll give me enough time to fiddle with it and make sure I got all my ducks in a row. And then we can go from there. So, anyway, I am going to get out of here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, news won't be so nonsensical, so maybe I can somewhat keep in line. And we'll go at it again. So, I appreciate you putting up with my nonsense. And hope you'll come back tomorrow for some more, for some more punishment. Anyway, I am out of here. I hope you all have a good evening. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.